name's Kat Morrissey, and I'm really excited to bring this to you today. What we're going to talk about is mission, impact, and legacy. Now, the reason why I've chosen to really focus on those topics is because I feel that sometimes when we are first starting, particularly if we are new, we don't really understand how to create that beginning part, which is really the story that we're going to tell and share with our audience. So again, I'm Kat. Hi, how are you? I don't do Facebook Lives at all anymore. I did used to, but quite honestly, I choose this business for freedom. When I work with clients, whether they're in Australia or in the US or anywhere else in the world, I use the phone a lot. People feel energy and they don't need to see your face yelling at them from a Facebook Live if you don't like that type of thing. Of course, it depends on the person. For some of you, this is going to stretch you a little bit because you've already done past coaching or training with other people and they've said, you must be on video, you have to go live. Well, let me tell you, I've ran multi-six-figure online courses and businesses, and I do not do lives. So what I'm saying to you is you get to choose this. But for me, freedom means if I don't want to dress up and put on makeup and do my hair to jump on a live, I don't have to, right? So you choose yours. My work really means way too much for me to try and convince you that you need anything that I have. You decide whether you want to step up and into the challenge that working with me involves, because I'm a real doer. I get results. To help you get results, though, of course, there's going to be challenges, fears, and even the I don't want to do that moments. But you just need to be ready to claim the identity of the person who has what they desire. That's the biggest thing I hope to come across in today's training. Because the truth is, if you are not impacting enough people, you won't find enough premium clients for your business to be sustainable. Now, I don't think you should just believe anybody that speaks on the internet either. And so I'm going to tell you I've worked with a lot of people overseas, but let me tell you what the deciding factor was for them. Before we even started working, we would A, have a conversation, have a sales call. B, I then send them some information. And C, I send them links where they can learn more about me, my business, my past, what I've done, so on and so forth. And why is that important? I think it's super important because a lot of people are now very mistrusting of the internet because they've heard stories about scams, people being burnt and, all of those things. And so I think it's up to us as individuals to do our own homework and decide based on what we know, like, feel, and can physically see that person that we may be working with has achieved. So that's on you, right? I'm going to put it right back on your shoulders to do some homework. Now I'm going to make it easy for you. I'm going to create a document. It's going to be in the group in the file section, and it will have links where I have, been involved in articles or magazines or so on and so forth in Australia. And I will show you some proof of who I am because I think that it's important. And I think moving forward, if we want to create conscious businesses, we need to be consciously thinking, what would we like to know before we thought about working with somebody? And what would make us feel comfortable? What would make us feel safe? Because I think that's the thing that is very, very difficult when we go online and, we want to learn more about, because we want to create something amazing, but we have an inbuilt mistrust. And some of that is, our own personal experience in life, and others is that we've heard stories. So do your own due diligence. Okay, who is this for? Anybody that's high intent. And what does that mean? If anybody's done any of my, trainings in the past, they'll know because I've fully explained all of this. What it means is that you're not here to muck around, right? You're high intent. That means you highly valuable your your time. You value my time in the trainings, and you're a person that takes action. Okay, because this is highly actionable. Anything that you want to do to create something that's amazing, that creates a legacy, that impacts a lot of people, you need to be a high intent person. You need to be saying, I'm all in. I'm not halving. Anybody that's an ex-corporate, a consultant, a coach, or anyone that has an existing service-based business that they want to expand into other areas. Your past is not your future, but it definitely contains important knowledge that will help you thrive in an online business. So let's begin. So exciting. If you can be really open-minded in this training, you will learn how to become the person that has what you desire. Because your reality starts first in your mind. It doesn't start because you watched this training and you got excited for 5 minutes. It really starts because you create something in your mind that you want to leave as a legacy to your family. I've worked with many really, really, super high, powerful people that have high paying jobs, and they're really smart. They've done university, they've got quite high up in their fields, but sometimes where they're missing a link is where their consciousness is, and marrying that to what they want to create, because they've been taught to conform. Most people, really nearly all of us, have been taught to conform to a set of standards, training, life. Your job tells you what to do. Your school teachers told you what to do. Your mum and dad told you what to do. I'm not here to critique any of that. I'm here to say that this world is super different to the one that possibly you have come from. And some of you, guys and girls will already know that. And some of you, you're just learning it because you're new to all of this. Most of my clients really do realize somewhere that they've had to let go of something in order to get what they haven't been able to get so far. And for some people, it's an increase in money. For other people, it's their personal development. And for some, they fully realize that if they don't start to look at who they are, they will never become who they want to become. So this training hopefully will really help you with all of this. It's called The Creator, of course, and we're going to talk about today mission, impact, and visibility, plus key knowledge that you already have will create your legacy. Doesn't matter where you are, where you're starting, this is something in here for everyone. That's today. In the second video, which will be directly correlated to this one here, we will talk about systems and strategies which equal sales. Now that, I must say, is, as a strategist, that's my strength. I can generally come up with something for an individual fairly quickly and get them results fairly quickly as well. That's step one. Because if we don't get results in our new, whatever it is that we're creating, the problem is we start to create the identity of the person that doesn't have XYZ yet. And then we keep repeating that story until what happens, years have gone past and we haven't been able to break free and break into our new reality. So it's really important that today and Thursday's training be married together. I'm not going to talk to you about mindset or any words like that that I'm sure you've heard before and they're well and truly overused. What I am going to talk about fully and completely is you creating the reality that you want to create. Not based on what you already know, but based on what's to come, your new moving forward. Whatever it is that you want to create, it's moving forward. And on the following Monday, so it'll be Sunday for some of you guys and gals in the US, there'll be a bonus video, masterclass, which will be all about creating, serving, and influencing. And that's going to help anybody and everybody. And I'll really sort of show you some proof of all of that. My proof is obviously in Australia, but honestly, it doesn't matter. around the world, there are, magazines, televisions. There's so many ways of you being able to take whatever it is that you're creating to the next level that, you know, it's just an example only. The system works exactly the same, doesn't matter where you live. Okay, so that's the creator. That's the three things that we're going to be talking about over 3 days. We're also going to have, by the way, an Ask Anything on Saturday. And what that will depend on, we may have a Zoom or something like that, but what it will depend on is how many people put their hand up for it, because that will be a live session. Otherwise, we'll just do it in the group. We'll just do an Ask Anything post and people can ask underneath that. Either way, you'll be able to ask your questions. So who is this for? It's for new coaches and consultants that are starting maybe from zero, or they're only earning up to 5K per month in revenue. For new-ish coaches or consultants, 5 to 10K per month. If you're already making 10K or plus and your business needs a reinvention, I think this program might be okay for you as an opener, but to be quite frank, I think you would be better off with, and I'll tell you a little bit more about this a bit later on, the Morrissey method. It would probably be a better fit. It's really designed for those people that want to dive into 7-figure businesses. So there's another level after this. But anyway, today, let's get really super excited about the creator. We are going to cover reality creation just briefly today because it's such a big topic. And generally, when we're doing something that changes our whole minds, where we've been to where we want to go is totally different. It's a really big topic, but we're definitely going to go over it a bit today. And why you must, if you haven't already got it, you must create it, a well-documented proprietary method or service or program, no matter what it is, built from your knowledge that you can sell for a high ticket price point. Otherwise, what will happen if you are constantly selling things that are cheap or low end and you don't know how to take that to the next level, very quickly you will have a business that will start to disintegrate because you're not making enough money. Okay. Now, the development of your unique to you methodology is the keys to 10K plus single sales. And it can be 20, 50, 100. I've worked with people with all of those. Just depends on what their knowledge is and, what they're creating. The amount of money, and I'm just using this as a reference. I'm not saying it's the be all end all, but what I am saying is that your experience and your results make all the difference to that higher ticket program. So if that's something new to you, then we'll definitely talk more about it. I'm not sure if we can do that in the creator though. However, I'll tell you where I will be talking more about that. If you have joined up here with a friend, make sure that you go to the post that talks about 5-figure sales. In that training, I really break down what the difference is and, what people expect to pay for what experience level and so on and so forth. That might be more helpful to you if you are brand spanking new to all of this. So just pop down on that post and you'll be able to, learn more there. I have a lot of people that come to me that are ex-corporates or they would like to become an ex-corporate. The most important thing is that most of these people can sell pretty quickly once they understand how to marry their message to something that people want to buy. And so, okay, there's only really a couple of examples, but I've just put down Carol was an ex-corporate, very, very, very high level job. And she struggled for a lot of years. She was literally only selling $97 products. And we worked together and within 60 days she sold 12K. And I'm telling you this because the knowledge that you need to have to do that, that's going to mean everything to your business. So super important to really dig down on what your knowledge is and how you can bundle that so that you can sell fairly quickly and to the right people that are looking for whatever it is that you teach. So why now? Okay, this is something that I really want to dig deep on. is because this is the whole purpose of this conversation today. I want to take it away from what people have been accustomed to having or being involved in coaching programs. First of all, I'm not a coach. I'm a mentor, and everything that I teach you is based purely on my experience. I'm a strategist, so even if I've never done something before, I can usually figure out a way fairly quickly that can be brand spanking new, and it generally always works. And why is that? It's just how my mind thinks. So, and you, by the way, I know for sure that you are exactly the same. You will not think the same as my mind, but you have something there that's innate knowledge that really might not be brought forward enough yet. I don't know. I don't know you personally. But what I know is that we need to take it away from all the things that you don't have. You see, that's really how coaching and teaching has been sold in the past. Like, you don't know this, you don't know that, you need to, do hula hoops, you need to go on live, you need to do all of these fancy things. And the truth is, that is not how businesses are created at all. A business is created because it has a unique concept, usually around an idea that's already quite well known. Because let's be really, really frank here, there's nothing new in the world that's suddenly going to come out, like, how can I put this into some sort of perspective? So for example, the word coach, you're not going to come up with a new title, so to speak, around a certain industry that's going to make a big difference. What makes a difference around a particular person that's called a coach, for example, is his or her unique methodology, right? Whatever it is that's unique to that person, and then the marketing and sales system that goes with it. So if you've been taught anything different to that, I really hope that this helps open your mind that that's really not true. Businesses are not built on brand spanking new ideas for the most part. For the most part, businesses are built on something that we already know about. And for those of you that don't know, I had a renovation consulting business, and I'm not going to go too deep into it in the creator course, but renovating houses is definitely not a new technique. Renovating houses for profit, though, is something that is usually unique to an individual. They've created their own strategy or system around that they know which houses to pick that are going to make money. And that's certainly going to be the same for you, your experience, wherever it is that you've come from. There'll be something there that you just need to draw upon in order to grow your new coaching, training, mentoring business. I'm obviously speaking to people that are new to newish and haven't really understood perhaps the concept of the whole business online. Whether you are a life coach, a business coach, or you want to be any of those things, you don't need a certification in life coaching or business coaching. What you do need is to learn how to structure whatever it is that your business is and how to put it together with a methodology that you can now teach other people. But bear in mind, there's still a learning curve there, because you're going to go from the person that's an expert in whatever field it is that you were previously in, to now a teacher, someone that can, share that information and share it in such a way that people can grasp it and, take whatever it is that you're doing and run with it themselves. So you've had enough time now to have a little look at this slide. And, here's just some of the reasons. I know that a lot of people here are fairly new to all of this, and it doesn't matter where you are or if you're in none of this. It really doesn't matter. The truth is that this is going to change your whole perception completely. It's a totally different concept to anything offline, and it doesn't even matter about money, how much money you have or haven't made, whether you made 30,000 a year, 3 million a year, really doesn't matter about that at all. There's a whole new set of rules to learn here. And, whether it's freedom or, whatever it is that you're looking for, initially there's going to be a little bit of a price to pay, and I'll get a little bit deeper into that in the next slide, because online there's a real spiritual journey that you're going to need to take. And for some of you, that's probably a real eye-opener. For others, you're already in that journey. So, you kind of fully understand what I'm talking about. If you're new, though, don't let it scare you. Just be really open to looking at things differently. And I'm saying this to some of you who have never made a lot of money, but you'd like to. That's the new journey. For others that have made a lot of money, I'm imagining that if you're listening to this training, then there's been something missing between what you did before in the past and your new consciousness or your new spiritual journey. So hopefully I can help you a little bit here. This was really difficult for me today to decide to tell something that was a little bit personal, but I really felt that I couldn't avoid it. I have in the past because I'm very much a strategist, so everything's about, strategy, systems, sales. But today I really felt that you deserve to know a little bit about why or how I ended up here. So what happened, I was married, like a lot of us were, and I separated and got a divorce from my ex-husband and started a new relationship. And that was something that I had never expected to ever happen in my life, but it did. And the truth is, it was probably the biggest disaster. It's certainly the worst experience that I've had in my life. Not the fact that it was a new relationship, but the fact that the person that I had, you know, joined up with was really troubled and had a life that you're going to be really surprised by this, because you're probably thinking, oh yeah, he's a drug addict or something like that. There's some sort of, really down and out part to his personality, his life. Well, actually, none of that's true. He was what you and I would call a pillar of society. He was actually a pharmacist. He had his own $7 million business, turnover a year business, but he really, really had a lot of struggles mentally. And I think the thing that I would have to say now that I didn't know then, but now he was really going on a journey, a spiritual journey, and he couldn't really correlate the new thoughts with who he was or who he used to be. And so what happened, he struggled and it didn't get any easier for him. And I was in the middle of all of this. I didn't really understand it. It was for me, I was at the outside looking in. Like any woman, we are literally taught to nurture, to, take care of somebody, to be there. Like this is someone that you've chosen to be with, so you should be in there 150%, all of that. And literally it drowned me. So just give me a moment to take a big deep breath. But what I mean by that is that because of the generation that I come from, we were taught like this is it. If you are married to somebody or you partner up with someone, you're there, you're in 150%. Doesn't matter what they're going through, you're it. You're there to support them and, take care of them and so on and so forth and help them through whatever it is that they're going through. Well, it didn't work out. And as you can see, that it still very much affects me today. Here's what happened. We ended up doing a lot of personal development together, personal growth, personal journeys. Here's what happens though. A lot of us learn it from an intellectual point of view. So intellectually, we understand everything that someone's teaching us about changing our mindset, learning how to become someone different, all of those things. Intellectually, we're all very smart. We can grasp the concept. The problem is, this is a lot deeper than that. This goes down to consciousness, who you're being, and when you want to become someone different, you have to change from the inside out, not the outside in. And what I found was he, at that time, I can't tell you what this is like now, this is quite a few years back, but at that time, he was only looking from the outside in. And let me tell you, we did a lot of stuff together, but none of that changed the situation, his circumstances, or him as a person. And do you remember a few slides back how I mentioned that Chris, one of my clients, he came to me and he said, I really had to get over my ego. You see, that's the part that really determines whether or how well we'll go on this journey, particularly when we enter into the online space in a spiritual world. It's a lot of spiritual people on there. The coaching world really has to understand a lot about consciousness, unconsciousness. There's a lot to learn. There's a lot of things that maybe not to all of you, but to some of you will totally blow your mind. And then there's going to be some of you people, that are listening to this today and thinking, oh yeah, that's not going to happen to me. I'm a business coach. Yeah, me too. The reality is that if you want to become someone different, become a leader in this world online, you have to learn how to impact people. And for you to do that, you are going to have your own personal journey here. And it might not be the same as mine. It's probably be very different. So I want to tell you the plus side of that. So that was the negative side. It was very, very hard to, go through that. And certainly for a number of years, it really dragged me down. I literally did drown in the whole thing, in the whole situation, the circumstance, and me trying to, create things was really difficult. And I constantly didn't feel that I was that person anymore. And now I want to tell you the positive side. The positive side of that is that it opened the doors for me to learn how to become a different person, to become a different type of leader. Again, I'm going to repeat, it doesn't matter what you've done before, this is a whole new world. And it's an exciting world. It really, really is. It's so much to learn and so much that you are going to get from this. But there's also that spiritual journey. And I feel that, so let me, I kind of missed a part there. What I really wanted to tell you was I ended up going all the way to Canada and working with Bob Proctor. And for those of you that don't know him, please look him up. Bob Proctor, the Proctor Gallagher Institute is his company. He's a world leader in personal development. And to this day, the lessons that I learned from Bob way back in 2010, I think I was there, they come to my mind, they spring to my mind. Things sometimes don't always happen immediately, and we get frustrated because our journey's taking too long. We really wanted this to go faster, or it's going too fast. It can go either way, right? It's us, how we are creating our own reality in all of this that is going to determine the outcome. And let me tell you, for me, the only outcome was to take care of me and my family. So that meant that I had to end that relationship, but it also put me on a different journey. And that's one that I'm very grateful for. Would I have ever done that if those circumstances hadn't have happened? The answer is no. I wouldn't have known to do that. You see, it was because I was searching for something different, something to expand, something to grow into, that that's how it came about for me. And I'll guarantee you, every single one of you have a story that's impactful to both you and why you want to do this. And take that as a really good thing. Because this world of helping other people, helping them develop their consciousness, develop a bigger life, earn more money, whatever it is that you want to do, this is the world that you're now in. I want to talk about 2024 and beyond in particular. In the past, the coaching industry was very much, run by marketers, and that probably sounds a little bit harsh because I'm a marketing strategist as well as a business strategist. But I'm not afraid to say that I looked from the outside into some of those practices and I thought that they were terrible because they weren't really helping people to get what they needed to get. And there's a lot of reasons for this. I don't want to go too deep into all of that, but I just want to say what I think's happened. Again, that bad thing that then turns it all around and starts to create a better thing. Here it is again. What we're looking for, I believe, in the new realm of coaches, mentors, trainers, teachers online are people that really understand or want to learn how to influence, how to create an impact that is meaningful, that changes the next generation, both in example, the coaching industry, or in their own personal life. Doesn't matter where it is that you want to change or expand or impact and create your legacy. Know that it's with the depth and the darkness that the light starts to come. So for 2024 and beyond, this is my thoughts. I believe that we need to be more open. We need to say to people, we need to tell them the truth, particularly new people, that this is not, what you may have seen as the online marketing dream. Here's a laptop, I'm sitting on the beach, I'm drinking margaritas and I'm making loads of money. That's probably not true for most of us. For most of us, the reality is there's a bit of work, and I think the work comes from inside. And so earlier I talked about creating your own reality. So in the creator, there's something that I really want to cover. I want to cover becoming the person that you want to become. And that's going to be different for each and every single one of you. The starting point of that is never outside of us. It's always inside of us. And if you recall, I talked about inner knowledge. That's the part that, for me, I'm looking for. I don't care, people that often have like this criteria of who they want to work with. I don't care where you've come from. I want to see, do you have that spark inside you that you can begin to create what it is that you say you really want to create? Because it is going to take a little bit of time and it is going to take a little bit of sacrifice, but it's going to be worth it as well. So, for those of you that know me, you've seen my map before. However, today this is a different map. We're talking about the map that really, breaks down a creator. A creator needs to have a mission, a reason why they're doing something. They need to have key knowledge. They need to be able to have authority. They need to position themselves and their business in such a way that people want to come and join them. They need to become visible. They need to stop being invisible in life. They need to become visible. They need to learn how to create impact, and they need to influence both their generation and the next generation. And all of that creates your legacy. Okay, it's not a lot of things that perhaps have been taught in the past that we have to hand down something from generation to generation. Listen, there's parts of our previous generation that are super helpful for us, but there's a lot of parts that we need to change in order to create a new world. And for me, I want a new world with people that are more conscious, that want to help other people change their lives, and, they have bigger missions than just, getting married, having children, having grandchildren, and one day dying. That sounds terrible, doesn't it? but the reality is that's what we are entering into in this world. So, key knowledge. Even if you're a life coach, I want you to know that you need to go back to some form of key knowledge, or business coach, whatever. Doesn't matter. You need to focus on that. Plus a mission, or whatever it is that's your goal. Learn how to create impact. Of course, we don't know how to do this. We need to learn it. That's cool. That's what's going to equal your legacy. So this methodology really encompasses deep work, but it's that deep work that also creates big financial businesses as well. So it's actually understanding that we've got to go through the dark to see the light, and then learn how to become the person that we want to become. And those that follow this methodology, along with really learning how to create your own reality, will get extraordinary results, particularly in sales. It's never, ever because you learned something that will change your money mindset, for want of another way of saying it. It's always because you change something deep inside, and it'll get that as extraordinary results. So until you have a structure that's really defined to grow like that, it's hard for you to get leads that desire your work because they can't see you. It's not about what you're writing on Facebook or LinkedIn or wherever it is, Instagram. It's everything to do with what's coming from inside of you, from the inside out. And I'm telling you, it's got nothing to do with the amount of money either. I know some of you have been, born and brought up to think money, I need to save it, I've got to make this affordable, all of that other BS. Well, that is not what will get people to come to you and work with you at any amount of money that you decide to charge. It is not that at all. It's the inner work that you've done that's going to change everything for you. I think that's why sometimes big brands make big mistakes. They don't listen to what the people are telling them. And here's what I'm going to tell you. I've watched this industry change over the last couple of years, and it got a little messy there for a bit. But you know what? It's really starting to break out into the light now. And you know why? It's because all those people that kind of felt like they've been caught in the mess, they're now able to say, well, I don't have to do that. I don't have to be a copy and paste of anybody else. I get to be me. I get to teach in my own unique way. I get to be the creator of my own reality, my business. That's what the change has done for everybody. So I want to tell you some things that do not work: posting and praying without a system. That's called the HOPE strategy, and it doesn't work for anybody. Creating webinars and funnels, sales funnels, before your offer has been validated. This is really super. So many people have been throwing thousands of dollars at funnels and webinars, and their offer has never even sold organically or been validated. So important. Diving into ads before the offer has been in front of the ideal audience or sold to that audience and has gotten results for clients. So let me just explain this in a quick way. It's a quick and easy way for me to explain this. If you have something that has never been sold before, it's actually just a concept. Until you sell it, and everyone has a different view on this, but anyway, I'll just say and you work with people to get results, it's just an idea. It's not a program, it's just a concept. Your concept becomes real and a program and something that, people want to bang down the door to get a copy of. It becomes real when you've instigated the actions, you've learned what you need to learn as a teacher, of whatever that topic is, that subject is. That's when your work becomes highly valuable. Right now, some of you are going to come in and you're already done a lot of stuff, and I don't know, I'll just grab something out of the air for a moment. Maybe you're an engineer and you're going to teach other engineers, I really am making this up on the fly, how to create a business online. In that field, that might be already worth 5K. I'm taking a wild guess here because I haven't done any research on it. But what I'm saying is different levels of information is worth different levels of information right off the bat without, a lot of knowledge. But if you're doing something that's not tried and tested, that you haven't got results for with someone else, you need to do that first. That's the best way I can explain this quickly. In all honesty, I explained this deeply in my micro workshop, which I'll tell you a little bit more about in a minute. It's so important that you validate what it is, because I'll tell you that there's two things that are happening. Number one, your audience can't see any proof of the proof of your concept, right? It's just an idea. Number two, the second thing is deep down inside of you, you are going to project an energy that actually says, I don't know how to do this yet. So I'm kind of doing this on the fly, and so it'll definitely come across. And someone that maybe has been doing a little bit of investigating for some time, they're looking to work with somebody, but they've asked a few people, yada yada yada. They are going to pick that up immediately that you're not feeling confident in this, in whatever it is, because it's not validated. So it's super important that that gets done first. I think in the past, honestly, there's been a lot of things that have been recommended and they shouldn't have. So we shall move on from that. Now, I'm guessing that most of you are here because your ultimate goal is to learn how to create a multi-million-dollar consulting / coaching business, teaching, whatever it may be. It definitely doesn't require a degree or certification, but it definitely requires, as I said, validation, experience, and it doesn't even need to be hard, right? The road that you're looking for is the least traveled, but so that means it's you that's going to have to adjust your thinking here, right? It's not, oh my God, I have to work 1 billion hours in order to make $1 million business. It doesn't work like that at all. It actually works when you drop your resistance and your rules around things that you think you already know. That's the key to your $1 million business, 1000%. It's you being open to new ideas and being able to say, you know what, I just need to let go of some of that thinking. It's really not doing me any favors. So today, I really didn't want to ramble on too much. I wanted to keep it short and simple. Coaching, consulting, the people that have already been around for a little while, they know this, that this is a $1 billion business. For those that are new, you probably didn't know this. But these people also know that you need to be mentored, taught, or whatever. You have talent, you have knowledge, but now you need teaching skills and you need sales skills and you need to be able to connect with your audience, to influence, to impact. You're creating a legacy. Big picture here, okay? So, you know, some of you will want to know, how do I create a mastermind? How do I create groups? How do I put my services together? Some of you already know how to do that, but you want to grow that bigger. Well, hopefully we can do that in the Creator. If not, we'll talk about the Morrissey method. But I want to give you an opportunity today that very few people will get for free. And when I say that it's for free, the information that I'm sharing with you, it's my knowledge. I'm sharing it both from, learning over a lot of years, from failing, from putting myself in situations that maybe have not always been the best. But the one thing that's been awesome that's come out of this is I've developed the business model that's a good match for me, and that's what your goal should be too. Some of you will want to love doing lives and, jumping on webinars and being all over the place. For me, it's not really my thing. I've been on national television. I'm going to show you that further down the track. I've been in magazines. I've done all of that. Listen, it was super great. It got me a name. I was able to get somewhere with my renovation business. I wouldn't change that for the world. But this business, I want it to be a big business where my children come and join. And we will be focusing a lot on courses and personal development, personal growth. So you get to choose whatever it is that you want to create. But just quickly, I wanted to bring forth the whole 5-figure sales for some of you people that might be new to that. And by the way, 5-figure for me starts at least 5,000. I think less than that is just course, but 5 to 25,000 is what my version of 5-figure sales is. And I want to introduce you to a concept so that you can see this differently. People that are willing to throw, example, $5,000, $10,000 at you, they want to see that you've created something big in life. right? This is generally what happens. At least in my world, it did, and certainly in the property world, it was like that. So you have to create something that's amazing for these people and show them, like, put yourself on the line. When this video ends, are you beginning to create a new reality? I wanted to come back on and just give a different ending to the original part of the series. And the reason is because some of this is going to change at the end of April and it'll be no longer valid. And some of it you'll be able to see a big picture. Right? So let's just stick with the creator for a moment. The creator was originally always intended to be an online course, a DIY. But when I launched it, I really wanted to help people even more. And so I launched it with some one-to-one in there, as well as a very, very cheap price. From the 30th of the 4th, 2024, this course will have 0 one-to-one in it. As well, what will also happen is that it'll be our $9.97 USD course, which will be somewhere around the 13 to 1500 Australian price point. And the reason is because my role isn't to spend a lot of time on low ticket courses with people. My gift to the world is always working with you on a much higher level. But I understand that everybody has to start somewhere. And I know for me, I definitely had to start somewhere too. And the somewhere that I realized as time went on was when I say start somewhere, it was actually with my limited thinking. Like, how much do I want to invest in this thing? Oh, I don't want to invest too much because maybe it won't work out. And in actual fact, what I realized as the years went on and I grew to a better mindset and I worked with bigger and bigger and bigger mentors, that money had nothing to do with it. That was my limited thinking that I was using to create the wrong impression. So if you are there, I hope that this starts to open up your mind, the whole series. If you need to DM me and chat about anything, please do it any time. I'm on Facebook. You can definitely send a message. Okay, let's talk about the next thing that's coming. It's called the Launch Matrix. And I want to show you how to collapse time and launch a high ticket course that sells fast. And it has nothing to do with social media, creating posts or anything like that. You're going to be pleasantly surprised at how I've taught a lot of my students how to launch a new business and literally get clients within 30 to 90 days. It depends on them often. And it's big ticket sales. So I want to teach you something that's totally different from the average launch course out there. Collapsing time is everything in order for you to gain momentum in your business and, of course, money. So let's talk about why I'm really here in this ending of the video. I want to teach you that when you create, serve, scale, and influence, that's the foundation for anything you want. 10K months, 20, 50, 100, it really doesn't matter. You get to choose that. This is your reality, not mine. But that's the words that you need to focus on. You do not want to be focusing on your lack thinking. That's going to keep you exactly where you've always been. I want to introduce you to the Morrissey method. This is my one-to-one mastermind. It's a complete mastermind. I really want to say that. There's nothing in here that's missed. It's going to give you a framework. The framework that you need to create $1 million business. And it can be a coaching business, a consultancy. It could be that you're a service provider and you want to know how to do that differently. The Morrissey method is definitely there for you and you can DM me at any time. If you are newish to entrepreneurship, what you may not know yet is this. Big brands pay tens of thousands of dollars to have the right positioning, authority, and messages created for their business offers. Doesn't matter what they're selling, right? I'm going to say it again. Big brands pay tens of thousands of dollars for positioning, authority, and messaging. Those three things are the most important foundation for any business, period, but particularly for online business in order to, get through all the noise that's out there. So if you felt stuck on your brand, your message, and you keep flipping around, don't feel bad, okay? Because honestly and truly, it's that you don't know what you didn't know. until now you know it. It's as simple as that. But more to the point, now that you know it, what are you going to do to change it? Here's what I want you to do. If you have any thoughts at all of working with me, I want you to DM me as soon as you can. Because the faster that you make decisions, the faster you become a real entrepreneur. My mastermind clients typically go from, some of them starting from zero, some of them are at 2K, some are at 5K, some are at $97. Doesn't matter what it is. And they want to get in the fastest, quickest possible time their goal. Could be 10, could be 20, could be 50, could be 100K in 90 days or less. There's a lot that you need to wrap your mind around, not just that one sentence. If it was that easy, everyone would be doing it, including you. So it's not simple. Okay? What we do is we work with the right lead generation strategies that are for you and you only and your business. You have to know that these one-size-fits-all strategies are not good for most people. They worked for whoever implemented them and started them, and some people here or there it'll work for. But generally speaking, most of them will not work for most people. So the quicker that you know that, the faster you can actually get to the dollars and the money. Your high ticket product offer also needs to have smaller things around it. And some people, free is really good, but for most people in 2024, people are willing to invest money regardless of whether you think they are or not. But in order for them to make a big step out to you, often they need to buy something small. And it could be 27, it could be 97, it could be 197. It doesn't matter the dollar amount that they're willing to invest in you. What matters is this is a process for them to learn more about you. And so you need to work with somebody that marries your high ticket offer into your product suite and with the right lead generation strategy for you. Most of you will need to collect a community using social media selling. Okay, most people. It doesn't mean that you are most people and you do the same thing as everyone else out there. That won't work for you at all. But you do need to understand that a community and using social selling is definitely a really good strategy for most coaches, consultants, and service providers. We close your deals. Listen, I've been doing high ticket for many, many years now, probably 30 plus years. And seriously, if you'll just really be following in my footsteps, you'll literally be using the same strategies. And then once we get those strategies working and, repeatedly for you, then we turn them into automated systems and methodologies that become just yours and yours alone. I do literally walk you through each step inside the Morrissey method, and it starts the very next week that you put your deposit down. You can 10 to 100 times your sales in 30 to 90 days or less, working less than 20 hours a week. If that's what the reality that you want to create, that's the one that we can set up. So it doesn't matter where you're starting. What really matters is that you can grow your business in this framework, 20, 50, 100K. You see, learning how to market $1 million consulting or coaching business, it does require your uniqueness, but it definitely doesn't require you to go and get another degree or certification. Those things are actually holding you back, and they're like barriers. But that barrier is because there's something inside of your mind that you're not overcoming. So you're actually finding another way to stop yourself from getting to the money. If you want to be an entrepreneur, you do not need a certificate or certification. End of story. This little mini series is complete, right? If you've watched all 3 videos, then you are definitely in the completion stage. If you're watching the ending of this and it's, only on video 1, it just simply means when I say it's complete, they've all been recorded, they're all up in the group. If you want to inquire about any of the programs, please DM me. I will continue to share in the group different programs as we bring them up. And, just anything that I've learned that can help you too, I'll definitely add that into. So now that we know each other, you know me really well. I'm Kat. If you want to know anything, there's something in the group that you can download. Just go to the files section and you can learn a little bit more about me. You can click on the links and see stories, articles that I've been involved in. So you know that I'm real. I'm not some imaginary person that, is just on the internet trying to sell you something. That's not what I'm about by any stretch of the imagination. Thank you again for being here and in the Creator Series. I look forward to learning more about you and your business. Bye for now.